Hi local students and teachers, my name is Franco Tenelli and this is Science of Singing. Today I'm going to talk about vibrato. I'm going to talk about vibrato as a part of a style or technique. What is natural and what is controlled vibrato? What is tremolo, or as Italians call it caprino, and what is wobble? What is a white voice? I'm going to cover this in a very short video and demonstrations that will follow. We have to remember that there are two types of vibratos. The first one is dynamic vibrato, where the frequency or the pitch of the tone is unchanged. So a more common pitch vibrato when the pitch change occurs with a certain frequency. Dynamic vibrato is rare, and a pitchy vibrato is the one we're going to examine. As I mentioned before, vibrato is a part of a style. So there's no just one rule what type of vibrato or how much vibrato singers should use. It will depend on the style and his technique. In a popular singing like this, vibrato is not used or used very, very subtly. Something in the way she moves attracts me like no other lover. So you heard the vibrato only came out when I sang the last phrase, lover. Or in a jazzy bossa nova, the same approach, a breathy voice and no vibrato. How insensitive I must have seemed when she told me that she loved me. How, and so on. In many non-classical styles, which Broadway actually comes very close to classical approach, it's still not classical music in its true sense. Some use vibrato only at the end of the phrase, like I will show you in this beautiful song Yesterdays by Gerald Kerr. Yesterdays, yesterdays, days I knew as happy, sweet sequestered. The vibrato only gets on the way with this particular phrase with a longer note at the end of the phrase. It's very interesting, the technique of Engelbert Humperdinck type of singers who use classical technique but very little vibrato and of course a certain style. This is one of those songs, it's called Please Release Me, Let Me Go by Engelbert Humperdinck. Please release me, let me go, for I don't love you anymore. To live a lie would be a sin. Release me and let me love again. As you hear, classical tone is used, more connected to the chest, but at the same time there's no vibrato in the main phrases, like please, there's no vibrato here. Please release me, let me go. Let me go. So the vibrato came. This is typical style for this type of things. In most classical styles, except for Baroque music, vibrato is used all the time, unless it's a very short note. The intensity of vibrato, of course, is different with, let's say, Rossini, Donizetti, and Verdi, and Puccini. The main principle that the vibrato is used all the time, like I'll give you an example with the popular aria Caro mio ben. Caro appoggio. Now, if you sing it no vibrato, caro mio ben, credimi al men. This is non vibrato. Of course, you see that non vibrato singing classical music is not within the style of classical music. The range of vibrato will be also very significant depending on the style. If you're singing Mozart, or you're singing Donizetti, or you're singing Rossini, the amplitude of the vibration is a little bit less than in, let's say, Leoncavallo's I Pagliacci, the Canio's aria Vesti la giubba. Vesti la giubba e la farina. In this particular style, vibrato is quite significant, and you see that vibrato starts from the first note and it continues through the phrasing. You cannot sing Vesti la giubba in the other way, for example. It will be simply not beautiful and not in the style. Vesti la giubba e la fashion fai. You see, if you don't use vibrato here, the whole point is lost. The point here, I'm making that vibrato and style are very, very interconnected. You cannot separate vibrato from the style. And this is one of the examples of this. What is natural vibrato? How it differs from controlled vibrato? What is natural classical vibrato? I'm not doing anything specific. Vibrato comes out of the natural interaction of my vocal cords and support. So this natural interaction creates a certain movement in the larynx, and the larynx starts to vibrate. Larynx vibrates, and we have the vibrato. Controlled vibrato is a thrill, like you remember very well in Pavarotti's Three Tenors famous Remember this? So this is controlled vibrato. Can you control vibrato? Certainly you can control vibrato if you can control your support. If you're master of appoggio, you can basically create any vibrato you like. By knowing how to support your voice and be a master of appoggio, I can even show you the wrong types of vibratos. For example, vibrato that is called in Italian caprino, which is very fast vibrato, and it's not beautiful in classical singing. But some singers have these problems, including the great Franco Tenelli used to have this problem, and he fixed it later on. So this is the example of caprino. Well, it's not easy, but that's what this caprino is, and especially caprino is very, very nasty at the top notes. Okay, this is my caprino. Okay, I couldn't find any better one. So-called white voices often have non-vibrato, and if they're in the classical category, they might have face problems, not only stylistic problems, but even vocal problems. What is white voice? White voice is the voice that exaggeratedly uses the mask resonance, very little connection to the chest resonance. It occurs that these types of voices usually lack good vibrato. Not all of them, but most of them lack good vibrato. Part of the solution of this is to reconnect your voice to the chest as a whole one, not as a separate registers. You see, the greatest singers on earth, including Enrico Caruso, Beniamino Gigli, and Lily Lemon, they denied denied very, very openly the separation in registers. There's no registers, they said. There's only one voice. There are sensations of registers, definitely. Not that I would agree that there are no registers, but I agree totally that a great singer with a connected voice doesn't have to use registers. He can use one whole voice if he uses the whole support. And that's the point of appoggio. Another problem, vibrato, is a wobble. That occurs mostly within the realm of opera. They need a very powerful projection, powerful voices. If the singer has a great technique, he will not have a wobble. If he sings the right repertoire, he will not or she will not have a wobble. However, a wobble occurs in most of the singers' voices when they're after 65 or not at their prime. That is connected with definitely the muscle. This is an example of the wobble. So let's take Vesti la Giuba, the same aria I showed you before, with a wobble. Vesti la giubba e la faccia in farina. There is a small step between having good vibrato and bad vibrato in dramatic styles. This vibrato is totally, or this wobble rather, is totally based on incorrect coordination of the diaphragm and low abdominal muscles. So that can occur of the wrong technique, of abuse of power, of singing wrong repertoire, or of the old age. You cannot blame a 75 years old singer if he has this. My suggestion to those singers who are troubled with vibrato, either it's caprino, fast, tremolo vibrato, or if it's a wobble and it's not of old age, just incorrect technique, it's very serious because vibrato habits are very strong. I don't believe, like some other singers or teachers believe, that it's impossible to correct. I do believe that vibrato can be corrected. But I also agree with them that it's a very, very strong habit. It's so subconscious as to correct it. It requires a tremendous effort from the singer and from the teacher. So the best way, my recommendation for those who are troubled with incorrect types of vibrato, is to try to get their voices in non-vibrato, because it's also personally how you measure your vibrato. Singers, as I demonstrated in my other lessons, do not objectively feel if that vibrato is on a wobble side. They still think it's not a wobble. We don't feel it personally. We need to get to non-vibrato mode at all. And let's say if you have something like this, something like this, or if you have this two types of problems, what I suggest is to straighten up your vibrato and sing it straight first. Get used to it straight, like and get used to it. Not only one day, couple of days, couple of weeks, trying not to use vibrato at all. And when you start feeling the good resonance, and then let it go, and you will see, it will occur naturally. So that's my suggestions for vibrato. It was Franco Tenelli, Science of Singing. Thank you very much.